What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. New haircut, new market watch, new buyouts. A lot to talk about, a lot to get into today. So let's just jump straight into it here. We have the calling Indy this weekend, so a lot of people are buying some of these more competitive staples in preparation for that. You see a slight uptick across the board in the super competitive good cards. A slight downtick in all of the Oldham cards. People aren't really messing with that deck anymore ever since the ban is suspended announcement last week, which the market is still moving and feeling the impact of. So let's just jump straight into it. Let's go over it. The Young Benji in preparation for Outsiders has been bought to the $42 mark. There hasn't been a ton of movement because there's just not a ton of this card existing. You could count on, it's just one page here, maybe like 10 of them on the market. Not a lot. Cheapest is $42. If you don't have it, this is still, I think, a fair price point for this card. I think with any more support, this hero could just get absolutely busted and broken. Like, its hero power just is like degenerate and could be game breaking in a way. So they need to be very careful with it. I feel like he's just a couple cards from being like just absurd. Regicide was completely bought out like a week ago. There's absolutely zero left on TCG Player. Sold for 106. So yeah, that just shows you how few of these there are in the world. I think a lot of people are just holding on to them. These are the collector's premium card. People are putting this in a PSG slab or whatever and just putting it in their closet and forgetting about it. So if you guys have an opportunity to pick one of these up, I still think it's worth it. They're just going to become more and more scarce as time goes on. Like I said, absolutely zero on TCG Player. Perch Grapplers is like, for some reason, cheaper than it should be. It's a Ranger card, so this could easily be good in, the new Azalea builds that will come out with Outsiders. Or in Riptide, of course, and for some reason it used to be like $20, now it's like 17, 18, which isn't much lower than its high, but still kind of weird considering this card could be better than it's ever been in this next set. I think this is definitely worth a pickup. I could see this card going crazy, especially a Majestic from Crew, Crucible of War, a set that old. These Majestics just go terminal when they become good. If you don't have one and you have any interest at all in Ranger, I would definitely pick one up. The Cold Foil Arachni from the Armory promos is holding at $50. It's actually kind of insane. There's one up here for 55. Actually, yeah, it's $55. It's not even 50. Kind of insane. We normally don't see the Armory promo Cold Foil sell for this much money. I think a lot of it was players were traveling for the ProQuest and things like that, and some of these just didn't get handed out. I don't know what the LGSs are going to do with all the extras, if they're the ones unloading them online, or if they're going to be kind of backlogged and we'll see this drop in the couple weeks to come as they start handing these out. Who knows what the LGSs will do. I still think it's probably worth a pickup. Cold Foil Adult Heroes always retain value, so I still think it's worth it at this price point. Do not buy this. Do not buy this. Do not buy this. I had to say it 3 times. The Outsiders Booster Box case pre-sale on TCG Player is at $352. Do not buy it under any circumstances. We talk about it all the time on the channel. Pre-sale items are not to be bought from TCG Player. They're disgustingly overpriced. I don't know. You could get cases easily online for $300 for the case. So $350, you're just grossly overpaying for it. Not to mention, you could get them from Alpha Investments or Team Covenant or something like this and get those extended art promos with your case, get a little bit more bang for your buck. So just, yeah, don't buy this, hold out. Just wait for the Covenant and the Rudy and all of them to come out and give you that promo with it. It's just worth waiting. This here, you can see I'm on Flesh and Blood, shop all, and then sort by best selling. And I don't know if you guys notice here, but we have 1, 2, 3 traps in the top 8 most sold cards. Just kind of showing that people are really excited for Riptide. People are gearing up and getting ready for it. All these cards are still super cheap. Like, we'll just take a look at Tripwire Trap here. The Unlimited Rainbow is just a couple dollars, but there's very few of them on the market. If you guys have interest in Riptide, I recommend picking all of these up. Just get a playset of all of them. It's not worth, just waiting. They're all from Crucible of War, I believe. All of them are, I think. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But, just for a couple bucks each, I think it's worth just foiling out your trap lineup. Don't wait for Riptide to come out and be a good hero and jack the prices of all these cards up exponentially. Just get them now and be ready for when he drops. The Icelander Marvel, ever since that hit, has been going down a little bit. You could see one here sold for $140 back then. Now the cheapest on the market is $88. This is again the Young Marvel Icelander. I still think it's worth it. The back of this card is absolutely beautiful. And if you had any interest in this before, I think now's the time to pull the trigger. It's down substantially from what it was, so probably worth it if you were looking before. Cash in Rainbow Foil. More and more of those Royal decks are having success. People keep buying this card. The Rainbow Foil is at $6, and the unlimited normal version, I guess, is at like $4.50. So this card just keeps going up. Again, this is one of those Crucible of War cards. This has come up a couple times in this segment here. Crucible of War is going to retain value for time to come. So yeah, if you don't have it, I still think it's worth it at this price point. I think Cash In's a great card. Even past the Royal Synergy, like down the line, they're not just going to stop printing copper, silver, and gold. This card will probably be good for years to come if I had to guess. Remembrance is a card that a lot of people like wanted banned for some reason. I guess like to combat the fatigue decks. But if a card is so good that people on Twitter are saying it should be banned, then you should probably have at least a couple of them rainbow foil, I think. The cheapest rainbow on the market is $6.50. This card is a pretty good card, I can't lie. I don't think it's ban worthy, but it is a good card and it's worth picking up. Again, $6.50 for the rainbow, and it's like $3 or $4 for the non-foil version. I think everyone should have a set of this just in case it becomes like that meta relevant you need it. Rouse the Ancients, I think a lot of people are starting to move away from Oldhim and starting to look at Bravo as their savior to combat this aggro meta that we're walking into. The cheapest Rouse the Ancients on the market is $13.50. That's like kind of insane to me. I don't like remember it being this expensive, and there is so much volume sold here. Like I'm scrolling and scrolling through all these last sales. But if we look just a couple weeks ago, the card was like $7 or $8. This card has just had insane movement in the last couple weeks and has doubled in price. It is now about $14 each. Crown of Dominion, same thing. The rainbow foils just keep getting bought, especially in the last couple days here. Used to be like a $20 card. Now it is $38 is the cheapest on the market, and the cheapest cold foil is $72. Longtime fans of the channel remember that I was preaching to buy this card when it was $20. So congrats to the people that listened on that one, but now it is $38. I still think it's a good deal. Dynasty was a very under-opened set. It didn't live up to a lot of people's hype and expectations. It wasn't a main set, so not a lot of people are opening it. And we know what happens to these not the main sets, the supplemental sets. We know what happens to these cards when they become good. They all just go crazy expensive. Look at Crucible, look at Everfest. Every time a card becomes good from those sets, they just go crazy. Crown of Dominion, $38 for a legendary is still very cheap in my opinion. I think it's worth picking up now, even with this price hike if you don't have one. These Marvel Dragons, for some reason, are getting bought out like one at a time. I don't know if like one guy's buying them out like every payday. He just goes ham on one particular dragon. Like I don't know what's going on with it. But this week he chose Asvalai. It's probably one of my viewers that's doing this. If it's you, claim it in the comments below. I'm just curious who's doing this. But it was bought out to the $43 mark. So there's only like 2 sellers left. One for $42 and then they jump up to $50. So yeah, if you guys have the Marvel Dragons, I would say hold on to them. Or if you're missing them and they're not Asvalai, I would say start picking them up and completing those playsets before this guy gets too many more paychecks and starts buying them all out. Iris of Reality has also gotten bought out. It's only three left on the market. One's $30. I really hope one of my viewers get this because it's so much cheaper than the next one, which is $50, which is so much cheaper than the next one, which is $115. Irish Droma is a thing. It might not be the best pick this meta, since this meta seems to be so aggressive. But that's how the beginning of every meta is, right? The beginning of every meta is aggro-oriented, but it always kind of devolves into this Oldhim control meta, and then Illusionist shines. So be ready the next time Illusionist is shining and have your shiny Iris of Reality ready. I think it's a good card. I think that deck is a real deck. It's a good deck. And if I was to play it, I'd want the drippy weapon with it. So cheap. I hope one of you guys get this. We talked about the cold foil Katsu, young Katsu, last time on the channel last week. It was, I think, like $8 or $9 or maybe $10 when we talked about it. It has since been bought out to $17. There's two of them, and then they jump up to $20. I still think it's worth it. I really do. I think they're gonna really push Katsu here because he's gonna be the only adult ninja in this set, right? So essentially, all of the ninja support that they're printing in this next set is going to be leaned or focused toward Katsu. That's the only CC hero that they're printing, so that's probably where they're kind of leaning all their cards toward. So Katsu could be a good, definitely, I think it will be a good hero moving forward, and I still think this is too cheap for this cold foil. It is so beautiful. If you guys haven't seen it in person, it's still worth this price tag even after the price hike. Last card I want to talk about is Shiana. I think this is going to be a long-term hold. I don't think this card will go anywhere as far as price anytime soon. But this is a legendary from Crucible. It's only $45. And for those of you who don't know, Shiana could play any specialization from any hero in your deck. So you could play like Alpha Rampage and Frost Hex, just like weird cards like that. At least I think Frost Hex is an Icelander specialization. I guess let me know if I'm wrong. Anyway, point being is they're going to print so many specializations at one point, and they're going to like forget Shiana's a card, and she's going to be broken. She's going to like break the Blitz format, and they're going to be at like a point where they have to like either ban a specialization to like, you know, limit her power, or they're going to have to ban her and be like, okay, well, she's actually only a for fun hero in Ultimate Pit Fight or something like that, right? So I think it's worth having it just like to be ready, and like always, like if it's in your binder, you're gonna see it all the time. You're like, is she broken yet? And you'll like be able to ponder it, and maybe you'll be the first guy that decides like, yeah, she actually is. There's enough specializations now that she's broken, and maybe you can win that blitz calling or something like that with Shiana and just kind of catch everyone off guard. I see the potential in this hero. I don't know if I'm selling it to you guys, if you guys are seeing it too. But I just think that this price tag is a little bit too low, even from a collector standpoint. A legendary from Crucible, it's just a little too cheap. I think everyone should pick one up. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, subscribe, and help the algorithm help me out a little bit. Appreciate it. Later, gamers.